So I rode the Athens Transit number 7 bus as well as the UGA East Campus Express bus. The Athens Transit bus I took because it was convenient to me, because I live close to the Multimodal Transit Center, and I used the UGA's East Campus Express because it's just a quick loop around UGA, and the bus is just quick convenience for me again. So I rode those today on the 14th of September in the afternoon. The characteristics varied by bus route. For the Athens Transit bus, it was mainly lower income, working class African American women and then their children and a few African American men. As for the UGA bus, it was mainly fit the demographics of the school, and they were mainly young students, Caucasian. As for the safety, both buses I felt completely safe on. I don't have any issues with that Athens Public Transit. As for the destinations, the number 7 bus goes from the Multimodal Center in the Central Business District downtown all the way out to Jefferson Road in the Homewood Shopping Center, and then does a big loop through some neighborhoods and comes back to the Multimodal Center. It doesn't go through campus at all. As for ECX, it goes from North Campus / downtown and then goes all the way to the intramural fields where soccer's played, and then comes back and just does another loop. Let's see. As for the physical environment of them, one included many more buildings. The East Campus Express had way more buildings, academic buildings, because it's on campus, and the physical environment of the Athens Transit bus varied from being downtown to on Prince, and so just kind of slow progression going like out of the city all the way to you just get into some woods, and then there's just neighborhoods back there. The Athens Transit bus, interestingly enough, passes by where an old neighborhood used to be, Nellie B, which was demolished a few years ago. It was a public housing neighborhood, mainly for African Americans. Social theorists would say different things about each bus ride. So Jacobs would say that the neighborhood around Nellie B and all of that is probably unsafe because there's not enough reason for people to be walking around and being invested in their community and being outside on the sidewalks. However, Rothstein would probably say that that whole area was purposefully segregated by government officials, like they were in Atlanta, to be public housing developments for African Americans. And that's also the case for the developments around downtown. As for the social theorists of Jacobs would probably say that the UGA bus route is probably safer because there's more people walking around, more strangers walking around, and they all have investments in being around and walking around UGA. And Logan would probably say that with so many young men and the campus culture that there's probably a lot of public harassment that occurs on campus towards women. And as for questions I'd ask bus riders, I would ask them the same question, but it's because they would have very different responses. I would ask, are you riding your bus out of necessity or out of convenience? And I think Athens Transit bus riders would say that it's out of necessity because they have difficulty getting from their places of living all the way out to working areas like downtown. And I think UGA bus riders would say it's out of convenience because they could walk to a lot of the destinations, but they choose to ride a bus because it's easier and there's AC and they don't have to pay for it.